What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Ranger Talk video. And today I'm chatting with some really cool folks, some great dudes here. It's none other than the fun fantasy power metal legends, Grimgotts. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Hello.
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely our pleasure.
Cool, thank you. And y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and let everyone know what's your role in the band?
Sure, shall I go first, Dave?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So I'm Andy. I'm the lead singer. And I guess I could say lead songwriter. Is that fair, Dave? Or am I sort of
Yeah, you're definitely the main songwriter.
Cool.
Okay.
And I'm Dave. I'm the guitar player in Grimgotts.
Sweet. Cool. You know, it's funny, Andy, that you had to verify, like, wait, I am the main sign, the man who writes the songs, right? Like, you know.
The band's a democracy, you know. I don't show.
Oh, that's awesome. So one thing I like to do is, I like to go back in time just a little bit and ask you guys, how did the band form up in the very beginning? How'd you all meet each other, and how'd you all, I guess, come together with the same vision for the band?
Well, I think I'll probably have to take this one just simply because the band was started with myself and a friend of mine. It was just meant to be sort of an online project, really. We did a pretty rustic EP. I think it was maybe 2015 or 16. It seems like a lifetime ago. To the point, I can't even remember the year. But yeah, I mean, we released that and it kind of went quite well. And we had a few sort of, some interaction with it. But before all that, Dave and I, we both went to university together. We were in the same halls, and I remember there was like a night, Dave. I don't know if you can remember. Like everyone was just sort of out of their like halls and out of their rooms and just roaming around. I guess it was a campus. I don't know. That's a bit of a Grimgotts term for what it actually was. It was quite a shitty sort of set of buildings that they put.
Yeah, it's being demolished now.
Really?
Yeah.
But so as you can probably imagine, it's were quite hard to come by. And I saw a bloke with a Pantera hoodie on, and I didn't even particularly like Pantera or thrash metal. I'll take what I can get. So that bloke was Dave. So yeah, we got chatting. We started playing guitar, didn't we? And we played guitars together and stuff. And so that's sort of where Dave and I sort of became sort of friends, and we started and becoming like doing music together. But yeah, later on, like the bloke who I started the band with, he sort of he wasn't sort of that sort of involved in it really in some respects, and so he sort of went his way, and I decided to do an EP on my own. I asked Dave just to do the guitars. And again, we did the EP with Dave playing on it, and it was it had a little bit of traction, and then we just started to sort of form the band, didn't we? Really?
Yeah. I think you were sort of the main driving force behind it, but kind of just got interest from at first international musicians, just like living abroad, who could record parts. Sorry, just to go back to how we met. It was actually a block party at our university halls of residence, and we got kicked out of the room that the party was in. So we took the party to the laundry room, and it was there that Andy. He's got like a Stella in hand. God knows how many he'd have. Like at the time, he had like a shaved head and a football shirt on. He comes up to me, he's like, "Oh, mate, I love heavy metal, man. I love heavy metal." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go."
Oh man, that's awesome.
But it turned out he wasn't bullshitting me. He actually was into especially power metal. So that's how we met.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't quite embrace the whole sort of metalhead look. I think I thought it'd be detrimental to my chances with girls if I had long hair. Yeah, I didn't quite embrace it, but it's all coming back to me now. Yeah. But sort of bands started to expand though, because after sort of Dave sort of came on board, because we were both living in London, like not together. And we met a bloke, an Italian fella who just moved to London as well, called Fabio, and he, he was a fan of some of the tracks that we've done, and we basically asked him to join the band, and then Fabio met, was at university and a musician, specifically for musicians, so he had loads of connections there, and he through the university, he met a guy called Nelson who joined the band, and we were sort of looking for a drummer because we had sort of, in the early days, used a lot of like programs and stuff to just make the music. I mean, if you listen to our debut album, Lines of the Sea, I mean, it's very, it's a bit, trying to think of a polite word to sort of, but at the same time,
it's raw, quite raw.
Yes. That's the word. That's the word. but then we thought we better sort of get a drummer involved and stuff, and we couldn't actually believe our luck because don't get me wrong, I mean everyone in the band is great. I'm not licking Dave's arsehole. He's an absolutely brilliant incredible guitarist. And Nelson is a phenomenal bass player, so really just a really solid musician, really and he's brilliant. But we managed to get Mo on board for the drums, and Dave, he's a beast, isn't he?
I couldn't believe it when we got him. Yeah, very lucky, because we put an advert out for a drummer online on like join a website. I think it was Join My Band or Gumtree or something, and then like 2 days later, Andy, I think you said, oh, some bloke has applied to join. He's done a video covering one of our songs, and I was like, oh, no way, it's been like a day. How's he done that? And then to me, and he'd smashed it all the way through. So I was like, we want him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, everyone takes the band to the next level, but I do think, because the drum with power metal, obviously the pace of it and stuff, and like he did help take the band, I think, to a whole new level. I think Mo on the drums, and everyone's just sort of progressing. I mean, I think collectively our songwriting's getting better. I think we're better performers, and Fabio, as he's been doing a lot of work on sort of the orchestration and arrangements, and honestly, some of the stuff he produces now, I mean, you can't. Some of it gets a bit lost in the mixes, which is not a bad thing at all. But it's some of the arrangements he did on the Ignite the Flame track, for example. I mean, it's really quite incredible. And actually, just on the mixing, I mean, another person who's actually been quite a big part of the Grimgotts journey is our producer, Alex. I can never pronounce what the studio is called. It's like Ethereal. You can find it on all of us. But he sort of started off with us our Lions album, and he's come through with us. And he himself he's just progressed and progressed and progressed, and he's absolutely brilliant now. And he was always very good, but he takes our tracks to another level as well with the production. And we've also started to go a little bit more professional with the recording. I go to a studio now. I used to just record myself, and what you get so much more out of the studio recording. So
yeah,
as well, like that's something we're not thinking, because I don't live in London anymore. So, and Dave, you don't live in London either, really, do you? But it's still easier for you to get there. I live quite a while away. So we don't. I mean, that's the thing. If there's one thing with the bands, and like, to be honest with you, this isn't actually necessarily a bad thing from our perspective, but we're very good with the making of the music. As in, when I say very good, as in like we do a lot. We put a lot of effort in with that and stuff. And for me personally, that's the best bit about it. I love making the music. I love recording. I love it so much. I love writing. But we don't play hundreds of gigs, and that's kind of like I don't know what you would think, Dave, but for me it's sort of like, it's kind of like our lifestyle. Like we can't really fit it in as much as we would, as much as we'd like to. So
it's tough to get everybody together, in these spots, and get all the equipment, all that. just there's a lot of logistics involved with doing gigs.
Exactly, and that's the key word there, logistics. And you know, so but we do enjoy it. We do gig, and we do enjoy doing it, but we're just quite I guess picky. Is that fair? You know,
yeah, like I think it's better to do. We try, if we can, go for like festival gigs or gigs with other well-known bands, just because it's easy to play like at the Dog and Duck on a Tuesday night and have 3 people turn up, but is it worth it for
just going to a dive bar, and just getting up there?
Yeah, exactly. So
playing for a few drunks out there. Oh, you guys are great.
I mean, we've all been there. Like I think both Andy and me, we've played in other bands and playing with other bands too. In fact, everybody in this band, I think, actually now including you, Andy, because you got your solo stuff. We have other musical projects as well. So you know, our time is kind of scarce. So it is difficult getting everyone together logistically.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I just realized too, Dave, that I think we're in a similar locale, you know, like I'm in one part of the forest here and you're in another. So
yeah.
Look at that.
A whole continent away, but similar.
Yeah. It's like you're on the island next to the one I'm on, you know, and although yours looks more like palm, like you're more like closer to the equator, maybe, you know, some palm looking stuff.
Yeah, yours is a bit swampy.
Yeah, it is. What can I say? I'm a Florida man, you know. What can I, you know, born and raised. So, but yeah, another thing I wanted to ask you guys too is, you know, the band name Grimgotts. You know, I'm going to take a wild guess here and say you guys, or at least one of you guys, is a fan of Harry Potter in some capacity.
Well, there is actually a story behind that, and I admitted it accidentally from the story earlier. So essentially, actually, when we first started, when I first started the band with my friend, we wanted it to be. We thought there was a gap in the market. We thought a Harry Potter themed parody power metal band was a gap that needed to be filled. So we decided to call ourselves Grimgotts after the bank, but essentially. It was a typo actually, but I can't remember if I sent the typo to my mate or vice versa. But we accidentally typed Grimgotts, and we were like, "Oh shit, that's the band name."
That's hilarious.
And we haven't really changed from it. Actually, you know, it's such a long time ago, but we did a song, and I remember writing it when I was still at university. Now that was a long time ago. I mean, I'm 30 now, so it was a long time ago. Was the first song that became a sort of Grimgotts song. And then we had that the artwork was like a picture of like Ron, Hermione, and Harry, and like it was my face and my shot onto it. And stuff. It was terrible, but it was all over the shop. But the first EP we actually did was sort of based with that sort of the birth of what we have sort of our own sort of like universe and stuff. But then I sort of reverted back to the Harry Potter stuff for a couple of EPs, but we've moved away from it since we've been a full band. We haven't even touched upon it. But the name is still there. But no, I think we still like to kind of think of ourselves as somewhat as a parody. I don't want to say parody has quite negative connotations.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, like we want it to be fun. We don't want it to be taken too seriously. We're very serious about the music.
Yeah.
But the lyrics to be fun. We want everyone to know that it's meant to be fun and it's meant to be. I
mean, cheap, kind of.
Like I say, it's the music.
Some people don't like that, but other people do.
That's their prerogative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if it's too serious, it's kind of thing out of it. Really, if you want that sort of fanciful, you know, epic. You know, glorious power metal. It's got to have a bit of cheese and stuff. And it can't be seriously, I don't think.
Like, yeah, no, you can't have like an epic like power metal band that just is too serious. That would just be kind of weird. It would kind of give off like vibes like, wow, these guys are just dorks, but like not in a good way. You know what I mean? Whereas like if they're just having fun out there, just goofing, it's like, oh, these guys are dorks, but in a good way. So
yeah, that I couldn't put it better myself. Absolutely.
You're either a good dork or a bad dork. So.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, I mean that's one thing that's so cool, about your band and the songs is, again, it's like you can tell that you're serious about making the music, but that the songs themselves, they're not meant to be taken like super serious. They're just fun and catchy, and you kind of are just along for the ride. It feels like an adventure. How do you, as far as like the actual songwriting process, like when you're coming up with these songs, or the theme for each song, what's kind of your process for that? How do you create just these fun and adventurous, catchy kind of tunes?
Well, I think because what we've tried to do, and all of our albums are sort of, like I said, based in this sort of a world that we've sort of created. It's not complex. There's not lots of like layers to it, but essentially we've called it Andrea, sort of a bit arrogantly named after myself.
And he has a little bit of an ego.
Yeah, right. See that? Yeah, I know, right? Just a wee bit. Yeah.
But that's lead singers for you. But
oh, that's getting
I have to
serious.
compensate for things. Yeah, I have to compensate for things that I lack in other departments. But in terms of like, yeah, we do sort of do themes. So like, so I'll give you a really good example. So we're working on our next album for next year, and actually we've nearly finished the songwriting process. And actually, I finished writing my final song today.
Wow.
I'm working a notice period at the moment, so I've got a bit of free time during the day, and I should be working. But what we do is so we've got a concept for the album. So we've got stories all written up, it's characters. Nothing to, it's not Tolkien or anything. It's very basic, but it's a nice story that you can follow. And then we theme the tracks. So what I sort of basically say to the guys, this track is about this track is about this track is about this. This is what it sort of needs to reflect. This is the story. Then essentially, Dave and Fab, because we what we do now more so is distribute the songwriting as opposed to all just being me, which is a really good thing, because if it was just an album of Andy songs, it would actually, even from my, I'm happy to admit that it would probably get quite boring by the end, because it's just all of that. It would just sort of be similar sort of stuff. Whereas we break up, Dave's got quite a unique. So Dave wrote "Ride the Storm," for example. It's very Grimgotts, but it's unique. And I love Dave's song. I love your songs, Dave, because the structure's always like quite unorthodox, and they're brilliant.
Difficult for you to sing, I guess.
Right. It's like, this is going to be an instrumental track, right? Because I'm not singing this.
yeah. It's too complex, but that's the thing. So, but when I'm sort of writing the sort of stories and stuff, I'm sort of thinking, whose songwriting style like suits the story best. So, for example, Nelson, he's highly influenced by sort of Asian and Far Eastern sounds. So if we have a couple of tracks sort of set in our equivalent of sort of the Far East of our part of the world, and then Fabio he's brilliant at sort of writing, solid, what you classify as pure European power metal. When we need sort of fast, epic, glorious tracks, we give them to him. And whereas I'm a bit sort of kind of a bit folkier, my songwriting influence is sort of folkier, and I enjoy a lot of film score music and stuff. So my songwriting tends to reflect that. But yeah, we do have themes, and some of them are drinking, and some of them are battles, some of them are dragons. So they're all sort of, but the music is always, I would like to think, is always reflected in those themes.
That's cool. It's really neat how you said, each person's kind of different styles. So I feel like now, people hearing that, they can listen to the albums and whatnot and try to pick out who wrote which song. You know what I mean?
It's really easy to pick out Dave's. They're the ones that have like 90% guitar solos.
It's like, man, this guitar solo won't end. Dave wrote it. This is Dave.
Whereas when sometimes I write a song, Dave's like, "Oh my gosh, I've only got 4 bars to shred over." I'm like, "That's enough."
That's all you need.
Exactly.
But I have to share it with Fabio as well, so like 2 bars.
Yeah, they would get 2 bars.
Bars. It's like you just have to play faster. If you want like longer solo, you just condense it and just play it faster. Yeah.
No, it's interesting because a lot of power metal has these, you know, like Dragon Force, really long uh,
Yeah.
guitar solos. But for us, we don't tend to have that. We do have solos in our
Yeah.
songs, but they tend to be a bit shorter. And I think that reflects Andy, your sort of songwriting. You sort of want to focus on other aspects of the song, which I think is fair enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do. I think solos have like a place, and like I think if they're going to add to the track, then they're 100% needs to be in there. But I do think a lot of you do this some metal sometimes, and like it almost strikes me as being a bit lazy because it's just like let's just put a guitar solo in when it's like, well, could we write something? Could we write a melody? Could we write some sort of some sort of like middle eight section just to sort of bring the track together rather than just shoving a solo in. But I think what I like to do with a lot of my songs is particularly sort of in the middle part of the song is bring the pace up and and then a solo normally it's normally those sections normally beg for a solo. So for example, like in Ignite the Flame, it sort of breaks down into that sort of quite sort of the dynamics drop, and then it comes back in with everything with the vocals and the drums.
Yeah.
And then it just there's a part where it would have been criminal not to have put a solo in. So yeah, I do believe solos have their place, but I do kind of try to avoid them. In fact, we've got a second single coming out. I don't know if it'll be next month, but certainly in March, I would imagine. Whereas I don't think there's a solo in it, Dave, is there?
Not really. No, there's lead parts, and even the lead guitar parts on that are a bit weird. It's not really like your typical power metal stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they're quite scarce, aren't they? You're right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right actually, because with this track, so Ride the Storm, we if I'm being honest, the reason why we sort of did these singles is that we started to write an album, didn't we? And we had a load of tracks, and everyone was just sort of writing loads, and we all sort of chucked them in, and we basically went, we were like, we're just writing for the sake of it. There was no sort of, we didn't just keep stuff. So we basically, got rid of them all, apart from two, which we were like, they're really good, we can't not use them. But then they didn't work within the sort of album we're working on, because the album working was a bit sort of darker, a bit heavier. So that's where these two singles came from. So one of them was Dave's track, which the Ride the Storm, which I mean we knew we had to release that one. We were so happy with it, and we couldn't wait to get that one recorded. But the other one is a track that I wrote, and it's I don't really know what style it is. What could you call it, Dave?
I don't know. It's a bit piratey, a bit folky, perhaps. It's sort of, you said it was influenced by like Afro beats. And at one point we were talking about potentially having a rapper do a verse on it. So
that's completely has ever been done. Has there ever been a rapper or a rap section in a power metal song?
I don't know, but we were tempted. We couldn't find one in the end, but I think it's going to be
a blessing in disguise.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, but I don't know.
I mean, I also quite like sort of music like Avicii, that guy with all those sort of like EDM type stuff, and so there's a little bit of that in there. But it sounds what I always like about it doesn't matter who writes the song in the band, like it's quite distinctively. It's still very much a Grimgotts song. Like I think you wouldn't. Don't think it will sort of like throw anyone that's listened to us regularly, because it does still sound very much like us. Like this, the lyrics are we've got lots of references to the sea and thing, and it's got some catchy melodies in there. So I think it will. I think it will please people that like Grimgotts. I think if you get like a proper, maybe like a quite a hardcore sort of power metal fan, they might be less inclined. And if you a proper metalhead who like sort of thrash and death metal, they will hate it with all their soul. That's fine. That's fine. Can't please everyone.
No, you can't. That's for sure. No, I'm so intrigued now to hear this bad boy. So I'm excited.
Well, I actually just got a message from the producer saying made some good progress. So hopefully.
Oh, good.
Nice. Awesome. Are you guys gonna do like a music video for this one?
Well,
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps I tend to do those. We tend to do like lyric videos just because they're cheap and easy to produce. To be honest, I'd love to do a music video. I really would. It's just about working out how to do it. We're very much a DIY sort of band, so working out how we can do it. I think it would be good. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for this upcoming single, with Ignite the Flame and also with Ride the Storm, we had a very positive reaction from people saying, "Oh, this is great. It's like pure power metal." But some of the more negative aspects that we've had is people saying, "Oh, it's a little too generic power metal and a little bit it doesn't go outside of the box and things like that." Well, this upcoming single, it's outside the box. Like you can't say that it's in the box, but it's not going to please everyone, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
Wow, well, that's quite bold of you guys to do something like that. And now I'm just super curious to hear it and to also see what people have to say about it. So that's really exciting. And I guess we don't have to wait long.
We'll be all right about it.
If
they hate it, we'll be all right about it. We'll be like, we understand.
Yeah. You guys just get canceled. It's just like, we get it. Like, yeah, we'll just cancel ourselves.
We crossed the line.
You guys are right. We went too far. Way too far.
If there was a rapper in it, then we definitely would have crossed the line. I think. I do think that was a blessing. The verses, I was like, what was I thinking with the rapper? Yeah, no, I think it's better without it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd give it a go. I'd still be up for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear it too, but I just imagine people's faces. Like sitting there listening to Grimgotts, listening to some power metal, and then this dude just comes out and starts rapping. It's like, what? What? Did like YouTube go to like some random video? Is this the same song? What's going on?
Well, the thing is as well with British rap, it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
It's so aggressive. I mean, honestly, like if you ever listen to it, like it just makes you like want to just go smash it up. It's more aggressive, and so I don't really know how much it would work. And the guy who I was speaking to, so the genre is called grime. I would be very surprised if you've ever heard of that, because I don't think it's very big outside of the UK.
I actually have heard of that, and I've seen some stuff, and yeah, it's wild.
That's amazing. Yeah, honestly, that's good to hear actually, because obviously, like, the rap you get out of the States is huge. Everyone, it's NWA and what's his name? What's his name? The guy who got shot recently, big guy. He's so sure. Give the loop. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but I think the British rap scene is very much like, it's quite enclosed to just Britain, and it is very aggressive. So I don't really know how much it would have worked. It would have almost been better if we could have got someone from like Jamaica or something to do it. A guy that we really like actually, who has his name's Lil Rick. I don't know actually. I think he's from the Caribbean. I don't know which country specifically, but he's got that sort of Afro beats vibe, and we love it. Actually, there's a couple of tracks that we've got. There's one off the Tale, Size and Legend album, for example, The Boys of Boom, where it's this sort of like folky, but like not sort of like British folky, sort of like I say, a bit of a Caribbean type vibe going on. So we love all that stuff, but yeah, I'm not convinced on the rapper.
Like the British rap, it's like, I feel like the rap in the States is like a little more like polished, a little more clean, but like the British rap, it's like the beats, it's like more, again, not to use that word again, raw. It's like kind of more basic, and the dude is just, they're always just so angry.
Yeah, like, exactly.
It makes you just feel like you just want to go break stuff. Like this dude's gonna go out and just punch people in the face. Like it's just anger. It's filthy, man. It is.
That is the word. It's utter filth. But yeah, like it was like a really heavy track because I think we spoke about it one time because Fabio was living where he was living. There was a rapper that like lived next door to him, and he was he was a grime artist, and we spoke about it, and we thought, oh, can we do, like, because Dave's highly, you're obviously he's really influenced by sort of like death and thrash, so he's got that sort of side to him. We were like, oh, can we do a really dark track, and maybe that aggressive rapping could have worked slightly better, but yeah, it wasn't to be.
Oh man,
I don't know. I'm well up for it, to be honest, just because I like doing weird stuff, and I hope on the next album that we do, we're gonna throw in some different elements. Like I think
there'll be lots of different elements, but I can assure you there will not be any rapping.
Yeah, that might be going too far.
It's a story about like two witches and a wolf rider.
Yeah,
it isn't gonna work.
But I still think like we will be on this new album. It will be a little bit different in terms of like, for example, the single that you wrote, Andy. A big part of that is a banjo, isn't it? The main melody is played on banjo, which is
awesome.
it's just something a bit slightly different.
Yeah.
So like elements like that.
And we also want to bring in. I know that with the Ignite the Flame, if you, I don't know, at the end, if you can recall, there's the guy doing the narration. And he's a friend of mine, and he's really talented. He's really his voice is amazing. And what we're doing as well with the story is that we want to bring the album to life. So we're going to try and we're going to write some like narration parts, but like different characters and stuff. So really try and bring the album, because the Dragons of the Ages album, that was a concept album, whereas and Tales, Sagas and Legends was like a collection of stories. And I mean, it was kind of probably to do with the nature of the way we released Tales, Sagas and Legends. And I do kind of think that Tales is a better album than Dragons of the Ages. But from the listening stats, Dragons of the Ages is a more popular record.
Wow.
I do think part of that is because it's the concept, and the album works as a story. And we basically want the next album to be like Dragons of the Ages on steroids. That's sort of what we want it to be. We want it to be bigger, we want it to be better. And to be honest with you, I think the songs that we've already written, I don't know what you think, Dave, but I'm confident that it will surpass Dragons of the Ages. But only time will tell. But we're so excited to get recording that album, get that out. I mean, if we can get it out this year, that would be absolutely amazing. But it just you always think, it takes so long, doesn't it, Dave? Like it just get.
Yeah, I mean, like Ride the Storm only just came out, and actually that was written 2 years ago, and like I recorded the guitars for that in 2020 during lockdown. Wow. So it's taken that long just to kind of get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it does take a while.
We're trying to sort of we always try to sort of come up with some sort of like routine. So like we've got a bit of a schedule for recording this year. Oh, we won't keep to it. Well, I know we won't. Things come up.
Give it a go.
We'll try, but like but we're relying on other people. Like say our amazing producer as well. He has his own life, and at times he hasn't got the time to do stuff, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes people get big projects at work and stuff, and you just haven't got the time to do it. I mean, Mo in particular. I mean, he's busy. He's in a really great band as well, and they do a lot of touring. And his time is precious. So, but that's one of the things that we as a band, I think that's why we work really harmoniously. Is that we are really relaxed and really laid back, and just about that sort of stuff. It's like we don't want to put pressure on any band member to sort of, you must record, you must do it by this time, because that's just bullshit. The music will suffer before that. We'd rather like the album come out like, 6 months later, and not be rushed.
Yeah, everyone be comfortable.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we can. I mean, we've got most of the music done. That's the hard part, to be honest with you. And yeah, so we have the capacity. We have got a gig in March. I think we sort of need to get that out of the way. And then you know, we'll probably go. I think we got a gig at the end of the year. You know, well, this is what I mean. We have very few gigs.
Yeah.
And once we get that gig out of the way, you know, we should be like fully focused really on the recording side of it. And there's no reason as to why we can't you know, get it out this year, but it's really hard to predict with
Sure.
rules and all the logistics involved. But fingers crossed.
We've put out a lot of music very quite quickly, and actually for this one, I think we wanted to take a step back and do better marketing, sort of better promotion if we can, and make sure that we're good as possible, and you know, those sorts of elements. Because to be honest, we're good at like writing loads of music because that's what we love to do. But I think like the promotion side of things, we could probably have been better at in the past.
Oh, I think that's a massive understatement. I mean, I mean, I really feel like bands to sort of like really be successful, sort of like in this day and age, you need to have like do the music, you need to be gigging, and you need to be hot and social, and
Yeah.
be bad with the social, and we're not that great with the gigging. I don't know if it's been detriment to us. I have absolutely no idea, but I think I was watching a video about a sort of journalist was talking about us, and he was like, he said my problem with Grimgotts is that they would just go cold for like 6 months here, and then they would just come out with everything, and then he's like overloading, and then you know, and it's like he's right. He wasn't wrong to say that. That is exactly what we do. It's like they saying like kind of want to. We'll get the single out. You know, we'll do the normal. You know, as in the single for the album. And then you know, we'll try and build up a, you know, the marketing for it, build up a bit of excitement, and particularly as we've got you know, a good concept behind it. You know, we want to try and sort of release a bit of the story and get people involved in that respect as well, and try and make it a bit more of a, you know, a bit more theatrical for everyone. But we will still aim to get that you know, before the end of the year, I think. But we need to do it properly. It could very well be that it's this time next year and we haven't released it, but it will be if we haven't done so, it will be for good reason.
Yeah, cool. You know, one thing I was thinking about, you know, you're saying that you guys don't really gig much, and you know, with the social media, that's tough, which it is insanely difficult. The social media aspect, it takes so much time to promote and stuff like that. But you know, one legendary band that I can think of, Steely Dan, what, they play one live show in their whole career or something, I think. They're just a studio band, and they're famous.
Wow.
They're legendary. So hey,
you
guys are good. You know, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to pick between gigging and making albums, I wouldn't even. I need less than a second to think about it. For me, making the albums is it's my favorite. Like, you know, I love it. I absolutely love it, and I love writing. I mean, gigging is great. I mean, it is a rush, and it is something that, you know, it's always very nerve-wracking beforehand, and like, because we don't play that often, we don't really. For me personally, I can't speak for everyone else. I mean, we don't really build up that momentum of, like, you know, you're going into shows and stuff. So it's always like a little bit of a baptism of fire each time.
Yeah.
It's always like an amazing experience, and you know, I'm sure, you know, we will continue to gig and stuff, but we're a bit picky with it. Whether that's detriment to us, I don't know, but I mean, Dave's right. I mean, on the social side of it, I think Dave, you've done a good job recently. You've picked up a little bit, but
yeah, I've been giving it a crack, but it is time consuming, as the Ranger was saying. It is a difficult job, isn't it? You seem quite good at it, though, I have to say. Like, I do notice when you put out new videos and stories and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, your face just pop up on my feeds and stuff.
Oh,
when
that's
it comes out, definitely. It might. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, no, it is tough, and like, yeah,
it's so tough. I'm terrible at it. I really, I don't even have a Facebook because I don't want to deal with it. It's like Instagram, and that's enough. That's more than enough, you know. And I just release the videos, and I'll post something from time to time, and it is what it is. So what? I'm not reaching like a bunch of other people, but I just I don't have the time or patience to deal with it. So I
the
get
thing,
it.
yeah.
It's rough.
I mean, my job is marketing as well. So like when I get in the day, the idea of doing more,
More.
it's like no chance, mate. I was like, it just it's abhorrent. But yeah, I think that's one of the things though, like with you when you've got maybe we could do more of that. I don't know. Like, if we're being honest, we absolutely could do more, but it's okay. It's hard. It's hard to find the time for it, and for me as well. As long as we're doing like, you know, for me, making the music is the best bit. And like, you know, when we see positive comments and people enjoy the music, it's brilliant. It's so nice, and like we get some amazing comments. And every single time, you know, I read like someone saying, "Oh, I love this," you know, this is making me feel happy. It makes my day tenfold. It's amazing to think that like, you know, we're doing this almost for ourselves. Really, we just love doing it so much.
Yeah.
Think that people are enjoying it is it's more than a bonus. It's so nice. And you know, sometimes I look at stats and, you know, see, well, wow, people, the new singles had a great amount of plays already, and it's brilliant. It's so rewarding, and you know, we're so grateful to anyone that sort of, you know, has listened to us and, you know, has left any positive feedback, and like, you know, buying CDs and stuff. It makes such a difference to us. Like it's such a pleasure to receive, like, you know, to receive anything. And yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. So yeah, maybe we can up it, but with the social. But you know, I personally, I'm very happy with, you know, where we're at, and you know,
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask too is how do y'all do the artwork? Because your guys' artwork, it always looks so cool, and especially I even mentioned in my reaction to Ride the Storm is that image of the Grimgotts ship on top of the giant whale, like in the, oh, that's brilliant. I mean that was so cool. It looks so cool. How did that come about?
So we found a guy. We started working with him on Tales, our EP, and he did Tales, Sagas, Legends, and then he's done Ride the Storm, and he's done Until Dawn as well, which is a kind of play on Ride the Storm on our next single. And he's a guy I found him on Fiverr. I don't know if you know.
Fiverr, yeah.
And he's actually I don't know if I should say this, but he's a Russian guy, and he's actually had to sort of flee Russia because of the draft in the middle of the night. Like, he's gone to another country to avoid being drafted to fight in Ukraine. So, and even among that, even doing that, I wouldn't have blamed him if he was like, I don't, you know, I'm sorry guys, I can't do your artwork, but he still pulled Ride the Storm artwork out of the bag. And he's an amazing artist.
Yeah, he's a special talent.
Wow.
He works with quite a few bands, and he really deserves more followers and deserves more credit for what he does, really. So yeah, really grateful to have, and he's really responsive. He did, like, if you look at our EP Tales, he made that artwork within like 48 hours or something. It was a crazy turnaround. Wow. So yeah, big love to our artist.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, we do try to sort of we do sort of draft a few sort of ideas. So I remember some I got some, like, it just sort of came to my drawer. I've got like of the Tales, Saga and Legends. I've got like a drawing that I did, and I sent it to Dave, and I was like, oh, what do you think of this? And then we sort of send it to the guy, and he just transforms it into this, you know. And I think we did an Instagram post actually with Dragons of the Ages, where we did the original mock-up, which
it's rubbish. It's so bad.
But it's under the transformation. That was with a different artist. He was very good as well, to be fair, but he's nothing on. He's nothing on the guy we've got right now. And yeah, I mean, we're certainly hoping with the album, because of, like, say, the nature of the story, we're hoping to bring you some quite eye-catching artwork again. So yeah, hopefully it will be as good as the Ride to Storm stuff, because yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah, it's just striking. It's like, oh man, it's so cool. You know, it just really, really neat. But yeah, I was thinking like for one of your lyric videos or something, you should just do your artwork, like your little stick figure drawings or something like that, and just slap it right there and just be like, yeah, man, there it is. That's what
That's a cool idea.
yeah. But yeah, one last question for you gentlemen here. So I do assume, you know, I don't know if you ever actually said if you were actual Harry Potter fans or not, or if it was just all parody, but have you ever taken any of those Sorting Hat quizzes? Like what house are you guys? Do you know?
I mean, I didn't. I do love Harry Potter, I must admit. I don't give it too much thought in terms of the house until right now. And my natural instinct is saying that I'd be Gryffindor, but maybe that's just me wanting something.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, right? You know, the Sorting Hat will give you what you want if that's what you really want. Like
You're right. Exactly. There you go. Then I'm going to go Gryffindor.
You're Gryffindor. Then simple as that.
Yeah,
yourself, Dave.
I don't really know. If I'm honest, I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan. I like the books and like I like the films, but I don't think I've ever taken a quiz. I would probably say like possibly the Ravenclaw ones, because
Yeah.
they the ones who like knowledge, and like I'm a researcher by background, so I like learning and knowledge generation. So I would go for them probably. What about yourself?
That's quite specific sort of understanding of the Ravenclaw house for someone that says they're not a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, well there you go.
I know they're the smart ones, the intellects, and yeah. I don't know anything about Harry Potter, but yeah, those Ravenclaw, they're intelligent. They got the knowledge and the wisdom going on. Like, oh yeah, but no, yeah, I'm also not really a big Harry Potter fan, to be honest. I like them. I never even read the books. You know, I've just seen the movies. But my wife used to be really into Harry Potter, so I know quite a bit. I know more about it than I would otherwise. But yeah, I remember a while back I took what was at the time at least supposed to be like the most authentic or like the best quiz to determine what house you're in. Like they actually got like professional, you know, whatever, and you just take it online. And I got Hufflepuff, and I never would have guessed that I would be Hufflepuff. But then afterwards, I started looking into Hufflepuff because the movie don't do Hufflepuff justice. But
yeah,
then, like,
they don't get enough recognition. You're right.
No, yeah, I learned more about it, and I was like, oh, they're actually kind of cool. But when I first saw it, I was like, Hufflepuff. I don't want to be one of those losers. Like, what the heck? They're a joke. But no, they're actually kind of cool. So, but so yeah, so we got Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. No Slytherins allowed.
Who in our band would be Slytherin? Who do you think?
I don't think
Nelson.
No, he's got quite a resting bitch face. So
He's one of those.
yeah, he's not. He's a lovely chap, but he like he could be. You know, I would. Yeah, he looks like he would like just punch you in the face like quite. But he is honestly a lovely bloke. But yeah, from looks wise, it's got to be Nelson. Yeah.
Wow, just like from the outside, people look at him and be like, "That dude is Slytherin for sure."
But he's the only member with long hair as well. I think.
Oh. Like Snape walking around.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a. He could. Yeah, he's got a bit of a Severus Snape look going for him.
Oh man, that's awesome! So cool. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for chatting. It was so much fun learn about that. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon for Grimgotts fans. It sounds like we got a new single literally around the corner that is going to be maybe divisive, but very intriguing. And I mean, that's exciting to me. And I think to a lot of people, because something that is familiar but different at the same time can be very refreshing. So we'll have to see how people take it, but I'm stoked. And to know that there's an album coming, at some point, hopefully within a year or so, is awesome. So yeah, good time to be a Grimgotts fan for sure. And thank you guys again so much for the chat. And I just want to let everybody know too, that everything Grimgotts, all the social media, and all that stuff. Links to that I'm going to put in the description down below, so you can go follow them on the platforms they're on and see what they're up to, and keep up to date with any news and stuff like that. And I'm also going to put links to the video for Ignite the Flame and Ride the Storm, so you can check that out as well. And where do y'all prefer folks to buy albums from? Do you have Bandcamp or?
Yeah, we do have a Bandcamp, but we certainly encourage people to listen for free. Absolutely, it's fine. But yeah, we do have Bandcamp.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you want the physical copy, jump onto the Bandcamp. Cool beans, which again I'll put in the description down below. And yeah, one final thank you, gentlemen. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to chat. Really, really appreciate it.
No, not at all. It's honestly, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for not just having us, but for what you do in general, actually listening to underground power metal bands like us and taking the time to, go through the songs and talk about them, put our videos. We really do appreciate it. So, and I'm sure lots of other bands do as well. So thanks very much.
No, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. You were talking about what's rewarding for y'all earlier about, getting the positive feedback and stuff like that. And what's rewarding for me is, the community, the power metal community, and talking with people that like the power metal as well, or comment on my videos, and talking to folks like you that otherwise I never would have talked to. It's just so cool to be able to talk to bands like you that's on opposite ends of the world, from me and stuff. So yeah, it's just really great. The power metal community is just awesome in general. So that's rewarding in and of itself. But thank you again, and thank you everyone who watched this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all next time. Ranger out.